Welcome back to Affirmations. I want to thank my subscribers and any new subscribers that I have, as well as those who are passing through. It is greatly appreciated. Hit like, share, and subscribe. I'm trying to grow my YouTube channel. Okay. For those of you that are new, we do tackle the topic of healing slave trauma. Okay. And in the description box is information about how to find a therapist if you need a therapist, as well as how to book services with me. Also, information there about self harm, as well as how to find a therapist if you don't have insurance. Okay. So, we're in some very interesting times now, a lot of big changes going on around the world. Some of the topics we talk about can be triggering. When that happens, we want to be able to take a deep breath, inhale, exhale, right? We want to know that we're safe, okay? Also, sometimes when we talk about certain topics and you find yourself getting agitated or overwhelmed, sometimes it may mean that you're struggling with that issue, okay? And so that means it's just an area that you have to work on, okay? But it's okay. Let's see. For those of you that are new, we always start where I normally will light a Palo Santo, but today I'm going to light sage to talk about my belief that as a therapist, whenever someone is healing, it is spiritual in nature, and so a lot of times I encourage us to be able to start our own type of healing practices and spiritual practices. A lot of times in churches and things of that nature dealing with spiritual topics, they will light candles and incense, and we can do that for ourselves. Okay, so let's see if I can get it to burn. Okay, kind of wants to, but it's not. But wishing everyone mental, spiritual, emotional, and physical health. Okay, got us a little smoke. Yeah. And I'm hoping everyone is doing well. As we say, we hope that you're having a good week. If it has not gone well, we want to think of one thing we can do to make things go better, okay? All right. We also start with our saying, death and life is in the power of the tongue, and they that love it shall eat the fruit thereof. Have you been feeding yourself fresh or rotten fruit? We always want to mind the self talk that we do with ourselves, even the kind of, what we speak about other people as well as what we're kind of looking at and listening to. That's also feeding our brain. Okay. Sometimes we're not aware of it. But just this week, the assignment is just to kind of notice what different songs or things you're watching is teaching us or saying. I'm not saying you have to stop watching it. I just want you to be aware. Okay. Also, too, we want to also be aware of what we speak about others. We want to make sure that we're not lying or being malicious. Okay. It's okay to vent because sometimes, that can activate reap what you sow. Okay. Let's see. On that note, normally I do something a little bit different. I'm introducing the next type of therapies we're going to be looking at. Okay, we normally do what we call the DBT deck, the dialectical behavioral therapy deck, which is that particular therapy is specific to people who are dealing with multiple traumas. And again, when we're dealing with the topic of healing slave trauma, we know that that is the issues that our people kind of struggle with. I'm still working on that deck, but I'm just introducing the next deck. Okay, this is cognitive behavioral therapy deck. This is one of the main types of therapies that I use, and it talks about practices to improve thoughts, being in the moment, and taking action in your life. So I think this will be appropriate to kind of look at this one next, right? Because we're dealing with the DBT deck, looking at the traumas, right? Kind of walking through some of those things and how to think about some of the issues that we struggle with and maybe how to approach it differently. And with the cognitive behavioral therapy, it's going to be about, you know, catching those thoughts and being able to stay in the moment and not have our brains looping and staying stuck, right? And moving forward. And so we'll look at that. We will today try one of the activities just to kind of see what we think about. It's kind of one of the things they do is a lot of what we call type of meditations. So we're going to try that today. It's a little different. Also, too, as you all can see, I'm back in my kind of meditation type bathhouse. I used to love to film here. I kind of switched it up a bit, but I'm back. It was under renovation. That's one thing for those of you that are new. I live kind of in a natural setting, and so a lot of times you have to repair every so often. So I had to kind of firm up floors and do things differently. But I'm happy to be here. I'm hearing bees, even though it is cool, but it's a beautiful day. Sometimes when we're going transitioning from summer to fall, when we get a sunny day, it kind of pulls out the insects. I think they think it's spring. So yeah, we're gonna see how it goes. I got a lot of bees around me. Okay, so with this cognitive behavioral therapy deck, they have this particular activity, and we're gonna kind of look at it today. It's called Wave of Breath. Okay. It says set a timer for 3 minutes and sit comfortably with your eyes closed. Or I always tell my clients to look at an object that's comforting, or if you're in nature, you may decide just to look at nature. Okay. It says see yourself seated peacefully on a sandy beach, or you can picture yourself seated or in nature or wherever it is that you like. Okay. It says, feel the breath moving in and out like an ebb and flow of waves on the shore. It says, treat each thought that comes to mind that appears in your mind like a bird that walks into view. Let the birds do what they like while you breathe with the waves. And so, one of the things it's teaching us is to understand that thoughts may pop in your mind, but our goal is what we're trying to do is not to emotionally react to them nor hold on to the thought and try to finish the thought. We just notice it, but we just focus on our breathing, okay? And so we're going to try that, okay? Let's try that. So you can either, again, I'm kind of sitting on the floor, or you can get in a comfortable chair or whatever's comfortable for you. And you can either close your eyes or you can look at the candle, look at the image in front of you, right? And what we're going to do is we're going to practicing just the breathing in and out for 3 minutes. And so for those of you, if you want to put this on pause to go get situated, you can. But we're actually going to try to do it for 3 minutes, okay? So here we go. Inhale. Whenever you're ready, you're just going to slowly open your eyes, or you're going to slowly come back to the present moment, okay? Put in the comment section, what was that like for you? Okay, for some people, it's odd, right? Just trying to sit and not emotionally react to our thoughts. And some people may have found it calming. Okay, but I'm curious. It's different for everybody, and it does take practice. Okay, and we want to probably try that this week. Just to see, maybe before bed or starting your morning off, and consider that. Okay. So but that is the CBT deck, and again, this is something that we'll be working on once we get through the DBT deck, right? And that particular section is something called the B section, and a lot of these are meditations in that section. Okay. All right. So let's see. We always end with kind of pulling an affirmation of some sort. This is the flowers of the night. Okay. And we're going to see what we get. Okay. Let's see what we get. Okay. We got two. We got creation. Yeah. And we got preserve. So let's see what these are talking about. Let's look at creation. What is this talking about? Creation. Let's see, is anybody creating anything? All right. Come on, lady. They got it in alphabetical order. There it is. Let's see what it talks about. It says, fertility and the abundant growth of what you have already begun is very strongly connected with this flower. Fertility and the abundant growth of what you have already begun is strongly connected with this particular flower. And the name of this flower is called the night blooming daylily. Now, what's interesting is this: if you notice, the flower that we have over there are lilies. Come on now. And that is one of my mom's favorite flowers. And for those of you that are new, she passed away this particular year. And very interesting, we have the lily there, and we got the daylily, night blooming daylily. And this is a flower that blooms at night only. Okay. But I'm wondering, it talks about fertility and the abundant growth of what you have already begun. So, yeah, has anybody started a project? Or have we been procrastinating and haven't gotten started quite yet, right? Let's see. It's saying you could find new enthusiasm, because one of the things that happens a lot of times when we start projects or we want to see something grow, sometimes we can get impatient and get frustrated, right? I know that's something I struggle with sometimes, so we have to regroup and, as they say, ground ourselves, and as well as pat ourselves on the back. It's okay to take breaks, do what you have to do to get re-energized, right? And then start back up and just go at your own pace. As long as you're taking one step at a time. Yeah. Okay. The affirmation says, I create and grow in abundance and joy. Okay. Creation. Let's see what preserve is talking about. Preserve. Let's see. Preserve. The name of this particular flower is called the silver ghost flower. Very interesting. And again, these are flowers that only bloom at night. It says, perhaps it's time to withdraw a little in order to look after yourself, right? Preserving our energy. Are we exhausted? Right? We kind of did that breathing exercise. We need to kind of add some of these things to our schedule. Essentially, it talks about there could be a storm coming in and it will test you, so try not to get lost in the frantic energy of others. And what that reminds me of is we are living in a time that is very complicated. It's a lot of scary things kind of going on in the world. Hearing about massive job losses, a lot of different shifts, and just a lot of different topics going on politically. And so, one of the things we have to be aware of is to not get caught up in the frantic energy of it all. We have to figure out, what is it that we need to do, even if that means we kind of are concerned about something. What plans are we putting in place, right? As well as being able to do self care, as well as being able to take breaks and to not get sucked into these things. Some people turn to spirituality and prayer, meditation, but having other outlets and give yourself permission to, relax and still enjoy yourself in the midst of these storms, okay? And so I'm hoping everyone is okay. But, we have to pace ourselves even during trying times. Quiet and focused time alone, right, will bring enlightenment, especially in the form of meditation, right? We just said that. And simply doing something on your own. So a lot of times we kind of want to go around other people when we're uncomfortable, but time alone is good for us. Doing something relaxing that you like. Maybe going to see a movie on your own or going to the library on your own, right? Going to sit at a coffee shop and looking at a magazine, doing something, going back riding on your own, taking a walk on your own. So sometimes you need that time alone to reflect so you can know your own thoughts and feelings, okay? It says be true to yourself, particularly when seeking solutions and making plans. Sometimes we want to lie to ourselves. You got to be truthful. There will be a need to look after something, especially yourself, more carefully. Don't completely isolate yourself, though, right? That's another kind of tricky thing if we find ourselves doing that. Okay, so you have to have that balance. But for those of people that normally are uncomfortable being alone, probably need more time alone. And then people who are isolating too much probably need to make sure that they're not isolating, okay? Let's see, the affirmation is I will preserve through self-care. Come on, perfect cards for us today, okay? All right. And on that note, I want to thank you all for joining me. Okay. And we're going to end with our statement, right? Everyone has a right to heal from trauma, even a race nation. And until next time, bye.